My name's Reed Hollingsworth. I'm 23 years old. I live in Denver, Colorado. I'm a student at CU Denver, and music is a big passion of mine.
So tell us about your musical background, how you originally got into music and what motivated you to continue your skill.
I originally got into music when I was in elementary school, around 5th grade. I started taking guitar lessons. I was really enjoying music at the time, and it just listening to music itself inspired me to take up an instrument.
Was there any one particular band that
Green Day was a big inspiration to my childhood.
So in your opinion, what drives the younger generation towards the EDM genre so vigorously?
I feel like the most appealing aspect of EDM is that nowadays with digital music compared to analog music, it's a lot easier for the common person to be able to professionally produce music at that level. Compared to back in the day, you would have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on analog equipment and people who knew how to use it, when nowadays you can produce a whole album from your laptop.
So would you say that you are biased towards any one type of genre?
I wouldn't say I'm biased towards any genres. I enjoy them all. I enjoy some a little more than other, but I've learned that the reason I enjoy some genres more than others is the fact that they incorporate so many elements from other genres in that music.
Well, which genre of music or type of instrument did you learn first?
I originally started playing guitar.
Okay. And do you think that has an effect on what type of music you're most aligned with now?
It definitely seemed to have an effect on me when I first started. When I first started getting into music, I was really into rock and metal and very guitar-oriented genres. But nowadays, as I progressed, I've learned that I enjoy pretty much every genre.
And when would you say you first started to get into music?
I'd say I was about 5th grade in elementary school.
Okay, so it was early 2000s as well. So
yeah.
The type of music that was popular back then was
exactly.
rock. Cool. As an artist, I'm always envious of musicians because I don't have that skill. What are your feelings on the matter of born skill? Do you believe someone is born a musician, or do you think that anybody can acquire that talent with enough effort?
I think that it definitely is based on the amount of time and effort you put in. Even if you are super talented and really good at producing or engineering music, even if you make some really good stuff and don't put the time or effort in, it's not going to turn out the way you want it.
Yeah, I would, can't speak for music, but, in regards to art, like painting, I would say that applies there as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So what are the main programs that you use to edit audio?
The main program I use is Logic Pro X, which is Apple's professional music production software.
Okay. And are there any others that you've used in the past, or?
I originally started using GarageBand, which is Apple's beginner music production software, but also in part with using Logic Pro X, I also sometimes use Adobe Audacity to do certain functions that Logic might not be able to do as easily, or functions that are just easier for me to do in that other program.
Got it. Can you tell me why the Logic software is the best to use and why you stand by it?
It's all basically a matter of preference. What's best for me might not be best for someone else, but the reason I like Logic Pro X so much is because it's not just for music production and writing music and that sort. It can also be used in the video design industry because I'm also a designer, so I use it quite often for my audio sweetening for videos.
Are there any introductory commands or functions that you could show the viewers?
Yeah, I can show one of the most basic elements of Logic, how you actually write and produce your instruments, software instruments within the program. For instance, if I have this lead synth I was just using in that one song, I can just go ahead and record and just play whatever you want the audio to hold. And then here you can view each individual notes of what I was just playing. And the hotter the color the notes are, the harder the strike of the velocity is, which will mean a louder volume. So the hotter it is, the louder the note will be. And from here you can just manually adjust the openings and closings of each note and really get the precise kind of playing you want to hear from that instrument.
Wow. It's definitely an in-depth program. So how do you go from a beginner to, knowing a program inside and out?
The way I feel like the best way to learn a program is to just dive right into it and familiarize yourself with the functions and performance of the program as much as you possibly can. The best way, in my experience, to learn music production is to produce music.
Okay. And it looks like the interface there is pretty similar to Premiere would be.
Yes, definitely. A lot of music audio production software it'll have a lot of the same techniques and command functions that any design program would.
Tell us about this whole process we got going on right here. What is that right there? That piece
So
of
right here
machinery?
is I have my instrument, which is my guitar, plugged in to my Digitech RP500 processor, which is basically a digital effects processor. It has a number of effects and dynamic controls to help me just get the kind of sound I want from my guitar. And I have that routed immediately into my Euphoria UMC 204 HD interface by Behringer, which is routed into my computer, which sends the monitoring out through my Yamaha HS5 speakers.
How expensive would you say that whole setup you got right there is?
If you uninclude the computer, I'd say maybe $700.
Alright, so not
Unincluding the guitar and the computer.
Alright, not crazy expensive.
No, definitely. I'm definitely on a budget.
Did you learn how to play the guitar all on your own, or did you have lessons, or what was that like?
About 5th grade in elementary school, I believe I was about 10 years old, I started taking guitar lessons, and I had no prior music experience whatsoever.
Okay. And how long would you say would it take you to did it take you to learn your first song, or really get the grasp of it?
I'd say it took me about a year before I was really into a beat, before I was really able to play anything.
Okay.
Anything well, at least.
And what was that first song that you...
I believe the oldest song I remember learning was Back in Black by AC/DC.
Okay. So what was like the first song that you ever learned?
The first song I'd say I can remember learning would be Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple.
Would you mind playing it for us?
Yeah, I'll give a little play.
Alright.
Okay, so I'll turn it up real loud. So here, my hands aren't on the strings, and I'm touching metal. Now my hand is on the string. Anything metal I touch will do that.